That's as good as anything that I could ever have. So I appreciate that. So, love giving a great quote of the week. And this one kind of touched home. My brother, my oldest brother, worked at Apple Computer from like 1988 on. And Steve Jobs used to come in and say to him, I want you to lead this part of this new update that we're going to have. And he would be in charge of putting together the whole package and that. So this quote today is coming from Steve Jobs. And he said this, if you live each day as if it were your last, someday you're most certainly going to be right. But ask yourself each day as you look in the mirror, that if this day were my last day in life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? How true that is. Do you love what you do? Because that's what's so important. We have the opportunity with our Y4C2Ts to create a passion to live life to the fullest, doing good for others and giving. Now that's a way to live each day as if it were your last. So let's all stand up together. We're going to say these Y4C2Ts, and you're going to see how great it is to live those out. You ready? Here we go. Win-win or no deal. Integrity. Do the right thing. Customers, they always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. And success results through people. Great job, you guys. Sit down. Let me give you 3 quick things of KW culture. So that last one that you see on there, that bottom one right there, success results through people. That's giving that I talked about. We all have heard the saying, it's better to give than receive. That's what success is. It's giving to those people in order to have their success, and in turn, you'll have your success. That is great KW culture. The second thing of great KW culture is this. You want to be considerate of our market center staff, even Ray Wright. We sometimes don't even realize how much they do for us. You want to give them a thanks in this thankful season. And you'll show them that great KW culture. And the third thing of great KW culture is this. Understand that the higher purpose of business is to give, to share, and to care. And that's a great KW culture way to live your life to the fullest. So we hope you have a great culture week.
It's interesting. I heard Jay Papazan speaking this week on the Y4C2Ts. And, the point he was making was, this isn't just business. And I love that about our belief system. Because what we're trying to do in the marketplace as real estate agents, as representing our clients, is really approach life from this place, right? And one of the statements he said, it's never too early. It's never too early. And he kept talking about parenting, which you could tell was on his mind, right? And I thought, you're right. There's not one of these here that I don't want my kids to adopt as part of who they are, right? Win-win or no deal. That changes everything. Integrity, do the right thing. I mean, how many of us, that's the way we should live always, right? Not just as real estate agents. As you look at the list, there's not one thing here that will not serve you or make you better in every area of your life. And so just one of those things we're going to keep coming back to. Beliefs and ideals are good because they challenge us to be more. So connection. So this is what I'd love to have you have these conversations with each other right now. How many contacts did you make last week? How many contacts did you add to the database? How many leads and where did they come from? How many contracts, how many escrows, and how many closings? Real quick on contacts, and I'll come back to this over and over again. KW has been doing research on database lately, and what they found is agents who have an average of if you have 200 contacts in your database, on average, those agents make a 6-figure or more salary. So the fastest thing you can do to get to six figures, get to 200 contracts in that database and work them consistently. That's what we've seen in the data across the country in KWRI International. So I'd like to emphasize that too. How many contacts did you add to your database? And if you don't know how to do that, ask the person you're talking to. On your mark, get set, connect. Good. All right, you got about 20 seconds left. 20 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. And coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So incredibly effective. Come on back, guys. We come to these questions often because this is where real estate business comes from. Now, we have a couple of things going on in the market. What's happening in the market right now? Anybody want to shout out what the market looks like right now?
The historic slowdown.
We've got a historic slowdown. Yeah, Brent, tell me about that. What does that mean?
So we always have this time of the year, the market naturally slows down. Everyone's thinking Christmas and holidays and all that. And then about January 20th to Valentine's Day, the market out here kicks back up again. Mm-hmm. So it's just if you watch historically, it always does this. The difference now is that you kicked in the interest rate hikes that have been historic also, right? We have now had the biggest year-over-year drop in sales ever.
Well, but year over year, so, and that's important to know, right? However, year over year isn't the number I'm looking at right now because the last couple years were extraordinary real estate years. We kind of blew through the seasonal shift without even noticing it. There wasn't a seasonal shift. So if we go back to 2019, what we see is there was a seasonal shift in 2019, and that's kind of what I'm using as my control year. And if we look at our numbers this year for November, we're about 33% below what we would expect to see in 2019. So the market is down, but is 33%, oh my gosh, the world is on fire? No. Are people still buying and selling houses? Are they still buying and selling houses at a high rate? Yeah, right? But what it tells me is we've moved from a relationship that's a market that's speed-based, get there first, to a market that's relationship-based, right? What it tells me is your work in your database now is critically important because we can't afford to lose any of those people in the database because the pie has gotten smaller, right? And if the pie is smaller, that doesn't mean you get less pie. It means you get more than your fair share. Right? And the way you do that is by working in that database consistently and building that database consistently, and we'll be talking more about that through our content today. Any other thoughts? Yeah,
Well,
Brent?
I think that we all have to be encouraged that this is now changing to a skills-based market. And so learn these skills. KW is a top training company in the world.
Yes.
And you come to these meetings, come to the trainings that are going on, and it will show up in the long run for you guys. We're all going to hit a little bit of a lull in this. And now we got the new year starting. We got some bills that we got to pay. So we got 5 weeks left in this year. It's not done yet. You know, people with the DDTs, death, divorce, and transfers. I had a guy that left the day before, Monday of last week because he took a new job in Texas. And we have to get his house fixed. He had a water leak in the house while he was gone. It's like, things happen still. So, but people are still going to be moving. There are going to be people moving to California because they don't want to be in that snow. So don't give up yet. Keep working.
All right, Rose.
I think at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. It's the more people you talk to. That's basically it. It's just talk, and talk to people. Call them, connect with them,
Yep.
build new relationships. It's now, I think, more than anything, any other time, it's a numbers game.
Yep,
You have to
absolutely.
Talk to people.
Arthur.
And also for everybody here is get your skills together, get your conversation together, get your understanding of your clients together. And while we all here, Keller Williams is here to help each other out. We're here to help each other out. I say this all the time. We don't want no one to be left behind here. We want you all to change and change your family's life. And whatever we can do for you, the people that are here 10, 12 years, seek them out, speak to them, ask them how they're doing, what are they doing, so it benefits you and your family. We know you're just not here for yourself, you're here for your family, so let's change this all and incorporate it all into our lives so we're better suited to change our family lives.
Yep. Yep. So when you guys came in here today, I heard this over and over and over and over and over again. What was the conversation starter almost all of you used today in this room? How was your Thanksgiving? Does that work on the phone too?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. This season is God's gift to realtors, right? This is the season of connection. And if we're in a connection-based market, guess what? This season is your opportunity. Now, if you're trying to get into physical shape, you're going to hit a plateau occasionally, right? When you hit a plateau when you're training to be in physical shape, what do? Do you stop working out? No, you train through it. Why? So you can have the results after the plateau. Realtors, on the other hand, what they do is they'll hit a plateau, business slows down, and they stop training, right? And then they get to the next, and then they get to January, and they've enjoyed the holidays, and they're equivalent of fat and tired, right? But instead, it's just broke and tired, right? And so what we need to do is train hard through the holidays, right? And you will get deals right now. There are deals right now. But then in the new year, while everybody else is trying to get ready for swimsuit season, you're going to be sexy. Does that make sense? Right? And so that's our goal for our business, all right? So we're going to talk more about that as we go. Hey, tell us something good. Anybody want to share something good right now? This is something Sam sprung on me. I didn't know it was on the slides, and I'm a negative person. So tell me something good. Anybody want to share something good going on? Yeah, Rose.
So I delivered a pumpkin pie in Menifee to these clients, and they're going to be listing their home, and they're going to move into Florida.
Wow, there you go.
So, referral to Florida, and
What do you think the listing will go for?
it It's senior community, 55 and over.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna go for 400,000,
Okay, so we're looking roughly like a $9,000 pie?
maybe 390.
Okay. That's a pretty decent pie. I think return on investment's high there. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Arthur. Yep.
My wife and our wonderful granddaughter got married last month to an Air Force guy, so she's moving to Germany.
Wow.
And then I reached into my database on Thanksgiving Day and sent over 200 Happy Thanksgiving, and over 200 responded back.
That's awesome. Wow. Good connection. Anybody want to tell us something good going on? Can be real estate related, life related. Yeah, Christine.
I just want to thank you guys because I love those labels on the pies.
Cool.
I could drop them off. They knew who dropped them off if they weren't home. I
Well,
love that extra touch.
I will say I had nothing to do with that. And yes, and so thank you, Sam. I'm deflecting to an incredible team here. So yeah, they do a great job. So
We'll let
I will
them know.
pass it on. Very good. Because I was not here. I was in Florida. That's my something good. We got to do my son's Make-A-Wish trip. Just phenomenal. We did 4 Disney parks and 2 Universals, I think, in 4 days.
And you lost weight.
And I lost weight because we were running. I mean, we were running hard. But we did almost every ride we could, and it was just great. And you know, I've talked about my son. He's 7 years old. He was in cancer treatment for 3 years from the time he was basically 4 until recently. And I say he's a little 40-year-old. He always has been. He just, you know, like it's, and we would go inner tubing, and he'd be like, that hill, the biggest hill. And one of the neat things about this trip was to watch him be a little boy, which he doesn't do very often, but he had some character meet and greet things, right? And normally I think big kids, he doesn't want to do that. And, hey, Ben, do you want to meet Captain America? Yeah, you know, I do. And then the Captain America Universal saw he was a Wish kid and was just amazing, you know. We went to go meet Sully from Monsters, Inc. at a Disney park, and he was so embarrassed that he wanted to, right? So they took us through the back door, got us right to the front of the line, which was very cool. And he came in, and we got this picture where he's just so embarrassed. And I said, Ben, do you want to hug him? And he goes, yeah. And he just buried his head. And after I said, is he soft? He goes, so soft. So just really neat, really, really wonderful time. So thank you, everybody, for your well wishes and prayers. We were going through that. So anything else before we move on from Tell Us Something Good? All right. The truth is, when we focus on the positive, we become optimists. Optimists have better outcomes. The data just shows that. If you will make a point to look for 3 profound, meaningful, unique things to be grateful for every day, that has literally turned clinically depressed people into not clinically depressed people. It turns pessimists into optimists, and optimists see the opportunity. The only difference between lucky people and unlucky people is lucky people think they're lucky. That's the data. So want to keep focused on that. Yeah, Rose.
I just opened up another escrow yesterday.
Woo! There you go. Very nice. Because there's no business, right, Rose? There's business, absolutely. Good deal. Congratulations on that one. Well, events and announcements. Congratulations to the Baez team. There was a overlooked award last time at our award ceremony. The Baez team had a rightful place in the top 10 and had $1.2 million in volumes. We wanted just to recognize them as we are transitioning from our agent services going on maternity leave. Mistakes were made. Anyway, I just want to hey, this is important. Mark your calendars December 5th from 10 to 12 p.m. This is your GPS workshop. We, at Keller Williams, really in any business, you can't get where you want to go if you don't know where that is, right? And so if you're saying, I want to make 150, I want to make 200,000, I want to make 300, 500,000, million, whatever it is, that's great, right? I want a lot of things too. I'm never going to get them without a plan, right? And so what we do with the GPS, and we just went through this in a large business planning clinic, we're going to be taking some of that for this, is we take that end of the year goal, I want $500,000 in income, and we just back engineer that so we can get to your 411, 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, right? We back engineer it so you say, what do I do today, right? And that's powerful. Now you may not do it every day, right? Build that into your program. But we set the goals, we work for it. If you set, and there are a lot of people who resist setting goals. I talk to agents all the time, well, I don't really set goals. Why? Because they're scared of failure, right? So what I always say is set big goals, because then failure is awesome. Does that make sense? Because if you get 75% to $1 million, is that a good life? Yeah, it's a great life, right? So set big goals. We'll be doing that from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's more than just coming into the room and saying, this is my goal for the year. That's not very helpful. So this is your goal for year, this is your plan, this is how you get there. And this is how we build that so we can check in with each other so we can move each other forward. So 10 to 12 on Monday, December 5th. I don't think there's anywhere more important you could be. Make a major point to be there.
What is that
Rose.
consist of?
The GPS,
Yeah.
we'll be going through, and just like I said, we'll be going through your annual production goals. And then we're going to be doing some of the work from Business Planning Clinic to get those all laid out. So what are your goals in your business life, right? We'll go back, engineer that to get to your 411. What are your goals in your personal life? One of my goals in my personal life is to take my wife on a week-long vacation without my children.
What?
Yeah, without my children. You know?
She's gonna have separation.
Totally, but it's a goal. But how do we get there? If I say I just want to do it, it's not going to happen. But if I set money aside every month, it will happen, right? And so what are the things I need to do? What are your personal goals? Maybe I want to be in incredible physical shape. Then you'd set that goal and start working on that plan, right? And so that's what we're doing. Arthur.
We'll be babysitters.
You'll be the babysitters? Brother, you don't know what you're saying. All right. Hey, this is also something I want everyone to be at if you can. Sam Othman will be teaching from the 72 Sold system. We're calling this Introduction to 72 Sold because some of it is proprietary and you do need to sign up to get these things. But 72 Sold is a program available exclusively to Keller Williams agents. If you are anywhere in the Phoenix metro area, you know 72 Sold. And what we've been doing is slowly expanding that across the country. It is a system to take listings, to get them sold, and to get them sold at a higher price, and it works over and over and over again. Sam, what can you say about that?
The question for you is this: if somebody could tell me what insanity is.
Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yep.
Exactly right. So now, if you have a listing and you listen up, you're doing the same normal stuff that you're doing, and you get the same result that's not selling. That's insanity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's time to change. It's time to change the thinking pattern. It's time to do what's new. The old may be good, but not that good in some other area. So 72 Sold have a program that we could apply to our normal daily business. You don't have to be a member of 72 Sold on their tactics. So if you want something to learn something new, Miriam and Patricia, you need to be here today at 12:30.
I was gonna say, is that today?
And everybody else who wants to be here too as well, okay?
Yep.
Talk to you then.
Good. Some of the things that 72 Sold that I found to be just once you hear it, is don't put all of the pictures up, right? Because remember when the internet happened, for you young people, there was a moment where the internet happened, right? And for us, we were like, wow. Online listings was a new thing, and so that it was get the best pictures you can and put them all up there so they have lots of pictures to look at. Well, that's great, but now how do most people find their homes? Online listings. And what do those pictures help them to do? Eliminate choices. And so when we're in a market where you have an oversaturation of listings, and we're not there yet, we still actually are under listings, what you want to do is show them enough to get them interested, right? Enough to get them curious. Not enough for them to say, oh no, right? And so if you have a beautiful home that they're going to fall in love with, but there's a really ugly shed on the side yard, why would you show the side yard, right? And just that kind of, and staging along those lines. And that's just some of the, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you think it through. And they've been using this effectively. Yes, Ray?
Did we change that? It was on the 5th. Did we change that to today?
There is one now. I think Sam changed them to be putting these after Connection Point because we have the largest volume of people in the market center at those times.
But on the 5th, it's at the same.
There's one on the 5th as
The same,
well.
But today is just.
Today's an intro.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Party time. Come have some fun at our annual Christmas party. Last day to purchase tickets, November 28th. This is just going to be a great time. I am so much looking forward to this. And so, what? Oh, okay, well, last day to buy tickets is today. Anyway, I'm just some guy I work here.
Executive decision, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's so. We'd love for you to be part of this event. This is. I love KW. I love this market center. I say it all the time. I wouldn't drive to Riverside to work anywhere else, right? I live in Murrieta, and you guys are the reason I come here. I love having an opportunity like this to socialize, to be together, to celebrate, and to just have that life together. Sam, anything to add on Christmas party? Samantha?
Well, you still, if you have a buyer ticket, we'll take what you can do today still.
Yeah, I already said that. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, cool. And then save the date for Christmas Connection Point. That's December 20th at 11 a.m. That is Christmas week. So yay. Holiday festivities, potluck, white elephant exchange. It's just a party here in the office. So this is kind of our silly party in the office. The other one is our elegant party at a country club.
Elegant meets silly.
This would be elegant meets silly. I bought an ugly sweater last year and I'm wearing it because I'm going to get my money out of that. So anyway, be a part of that. And yes.
So, since it's gonna be a potluck, will the potluck begin at 11, or will it actually be after the connection point meeting, or is it just basically from 11 to 12?
Hi,
I
Sam.
missed it last time.
I would turn around and ask a question to the person. Right? I have no idea.
Just like a fun one, so.
So it's we're going to eat and then be together, and it's more of like a
And then do the gifts.
yeah.
All right, good.
This is just going to be our family gathering place for our family party. Cool.
So bring all the kids?
No. Yeah, you can bring all the kids. I can't bring all mine. Toy drive. Hey guys, you know I kind of have a mindset if we're going to do anything, then it should be worth doing. And you know we have a toy drive that we're going to be launching in the Market Center, Spark of Love Toy Drive, and I would love to just this to be the stuff of legends. I would love for the sponsoring organization to be like, holy criminy. That doesn't mean I want you to go empty your bank account and buy toys. But that means you have, as a real estate agent, are a connector, right? So that phone call you make to say, happy Thanksgiving, hope you had a wonderful holiday, how was it? What are your plans for Christmas? Hey, before I let you go, we've got a toy drive going on in the office. You know, I know this time of year everybody's a little pinched, but if you could just, you know, blah, blah, blah. I mean, how powerful. And then to share that with your people. As you collect that mountain of presents that you're bringing in, to do a social media post, to send a big thank you, to have a client event in January, to thank everyone who participated, right? This is just an opportunity. Again, realtors, if we do our job right, so we make the community stronger. And this is an opportunity. So I'd love for you to be part of that. What's that? No idea. Samantha.
Well, Roberta Cook is providing the boxes today, so I would say the last day is probably like the week before Christmas, because we have to drop it off at the fire station.
Yep.
The 20th.
I believe the 20th. Yeah, let's make it the 20th then. Okay, cool. New listings just listed. This is from Carla Valdez. I don't see Carla with us today. 7-bedroom Shadoy in 2,000 square feet. 475,000 in San Bernardino. So my question is it dividable, right? Could you make that a duplex? Because if you could make that a duplex, well, a 7-plex, yeah, sure. But you know, I mean, is it dividable? Because at that price point, if it's a duplex, you got money. So I'm talking about, talk to Carla about that. Might be a great opportunity for investment. Might be also an opportunity to come in there and make it not a 7-bedroom and expand the floor plan. So get in touch with Carla for this wonderful listing. Tony Gonzalez, 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath. That is $1,200,000 in Norco. Tony, looks like a beautiful house. What do you have to say?
It's a beautiful house.
There you go.
want to look at it even if you don't have a buyer, because once you see it, you'll fall in love with it. Horse facilities, view at the end of the cul-de-sac, access to horse trails, the view of the Pumpkin Rock and the Norconian Hotel. It's just amazing. You have to see it. Just like he said about the picture, don't give you the whole picture, just a little
Right.
piece.
Tony, if somebody wanted to go and do a preview and then film like a reel in there, would that be something that they'd be?
Yes,
All right.
this is a great opportunity. You can brag about the park, about the community. I have a video coming up, and it should have been ready yesterday, that I say that you will fall in love with this town, with its people, and with its property, so come and see it. And yes, go make all the videos you want, please.
Absolutely.
And getting a buyer, it pays 2.5%.
Here's why I like doing a reel in $1 million home if you don't have $1 million clientele. Because we're in a drive-by society. And so if I'm posting videos of my walkthroughs of homes, then my sphere of influence on my social media is connecting me to those homes, right? And that you'll hear people say, wow, they got a ton of business going on right now. I heard somebody say about one of our emerging agents who's done a good business this year, oh my gosh, he's got so much happening. And I can tell you right now, not right now, no. But the appearance is such, right? So we want to create the positive association. All right.
Tony, real quick, how big is that lot?
5 acre. Yes, legally you can have 5 horses. and there's already the 5 stalls, tech room, hay room, everything.
Okay, very cool. All right, and those can't be the only 2 new. Is that it? Interesting. Anybody else have anything that's off market right now they'd like to talk about? All right,
Well, I have one coming up
good.
next week. A Corona, 2-bedroom, 1-bath is going to be in the 400s. Kind of a first timer or an investment.
Nice. Corona in the 400s is, yeah, that's
Yes, it's in Corona. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
that's entry level right there.
Yes.
All right.
So,
Cool.
I'll let you know.
Right. Rose.
I'm working on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single story, in, Hidden Springs,
Okay.
Moreno Valley. So they'll be coming on the market, and, it's gonna be listed for $475.
All right. Good. Anybody else? Yep. Sam.
We just listed one yesterday. It's not gonna go on the market till about a week or so. It's near CBU, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, beautiful little home. And the area goes for about $460, $450. We're listed it at $425.
72 sold.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Good. All right. Fantastic. Congratulations, Sam. Well, getting into content for today, I wanted to hit this with a large hammer. GPS Workshop, Monday, December 5th. What we'll be talking about today is part of how you run the play. But if you don't know where you're going, you cannot get there. So absolutely want to see you at the GPS Workshop to set your business plan for 2023. So with that in mind, let's talk about goals a little bit. What are your daily goals? Have you been operating with daily goals? Right? If we're going to finish this year strong, then what we have to start thinking about is what do I need to achieve today to get to where I need to be? Now, I said it like if you're working out and you hit a plateau, it doesn't mean you stop working out, right? You work through the plateau and then you have significant change on the other side. We have real market conditions right now that are slowing our market. We have a real rate lock situation where about 70% of the market is locked in at a rate that's going to make it very hard for them to move. Does that mean no one's going to move? No, because you've got death, divorce, transfer, right? We had a baby. You have, we inherited money, right? There's all of these things that mean that it's going to happen. We have a large population of millennials and now Gen Z who are coming in who are unhoused, right? They don't have mortgages, but they have good jobs. And one of the things we're not seeing here is massive layoffs, right? And praise God for that. So that means we've got income. Here's the thing about real estate. Real estate is a fixed expense, right? And so if you get in on a home right now at a high rate, can you refinance later? Probably. We're probably going to see 5s again. I don't think we're going to go to 3s again. But we may see go back down to 5s, maybe 4.5, right? But the beautiful thing, particularly talking to millennials, or not really millennials anymore, but Gen Z, or first-time home buyers is, real estate is a fixed expense, right? And so you get in at that, and so maybe we get in a payment right now, and it's just a stretch to get there. It's a fixed expense. It's our first home. We're stretching to get there. Is your real estate payment going to go up the next year? Is your income? More than likely if you're getting in your first home, right? See, because your income isn't a fixed expense. Just by keeping up with inflation, your income's going to go up, and so your mortgage has become a lower percent of your annual income, right? And so when we're talking to young people who are scared about getting in the market, we have to kind of, or first-time home buyers, it's the, hey, did you realize that that's a fixed expense? And while it might be a stretch to get there now, what's going to happen as your income increases, it's going to be less and less, but if we wait, the payment's going to increase with the market, right? Inflation's going to drive the prices up over time, right? And we might miss it. So can you make it now, right? And what if rates come down? Then you refinance. But if rates go down, what's going to happen to prices? They're going to go up, right? So the best of both is to get in now if you can afford it. And if we can refinance, great. If not, guess what? Your income will go up over time. Your rate will stay the same. Does that make sense? Cool. Rose, what do you have to add to that?
Well, the other note with that is you said it's a fixed expense, and this is an expense that they're going to have regardless anyway.
Right.
And because wherever they go, wherever they're going to be living at, they're going to be paying a mortgage.
Yep.
So it's either you're paying an adjustable rent payment, which is going to continue going up the way things are going, or you want to just set yourself with something that's yours. That you
Absolutely.
tax deductible at the end of the year, and a fixed expense as well.
Absolutely. So hey, I know that it seems like a lot of money right now, and I know it's a little bit more than you guys wanted to pay. But let me ask you this. Do you think that your lease will go up next year?
Most likely.
Most likely, right? What I can tell you is if we get in at this mortgage payment, it won't go up next year. It's fixed. Do you think your income's going to go up over the next 5 years? Sure as hell better, right? All right. Well, guess what? Your payment's going to stay the same. So that stretch right now is going to be less of a stretch the next year and less the next year and less the next year. And the good news is we may see rates come down. If historical evidence is true, then we could see rates come down. You might have the opportunity to refinance to make that stretch a less of a stretch. So with all of that in mind, where are you about making this offer now? Does that make sense? Right, that's a dialogue we need to get comfortable with, right? Because if 70% is rate locked, they're not going to sell their house to buy the next house, then first-time home buyers are kind of an important piece of the market, right? So we've got to be good at helping them because they're scared. Because millennials and Gen Z, I'll tell you, I have a lot of experience working with millennials and Gen Z, counseling and working with. They don't do anything without reading a book about it first, right? Right, raising kids, oh my God, I have to have 6 books to do that, right? Whereas baby boomers were like, we'll see what happens, right? Right? It's a so they need that. We need someone to help, right? And that's not a knock, right? That's because they went through the financial crisis of 2008, and so they want to make sure it's not going to happen to them. And that's why integrity, do the right thing, is so important for your business, because they will be second-time home buyers eventually. But right now, we need to help them make the right decisions for their financial future. So anyway, I kind of got off on a tangent there on daily goals. But truth of the matter is, getting to your goal is about having a plan and following it. Opportunity favors the prepared. Good things happen to people who are working. And reaching for goals is all about having a plan and following it. So I'm going to get into a couple models here now. But I just want to this is one of the things I want you to maybe put on your wall. A model plus consistent application equals success, right? A model plus consistent application equals success. And that doesn't matter about what part of your life you're doing. If you're trying to lose weight, a diet is a model, right? If you're trying to get in shape, a workout regimen is a model. If you're trying to save for retirement, that's a model, right? You're going to put X amount everything. Every other area of our life, if we want success on a massive scale, we follow a model, right? Your real estate business is the same. Does it matter which model? It kind of almost doesn't matter. I mean, some models are better than other ones, but no model doesn't work, right? And so Mike Ferry taught a model, right? It was very popular in Southern California, and probably it's a little bit harder right now, and it's just essentially numbers. Right? Pick up a phone book and start calling, and just have as many conversations as you can. That was the Mike Ferry method. And it was very good for a while because nobody was doing it. But then a lot of people started doing it, and now we have TCPA, right? But it's a model. And will you have more success running that model than you would sitting in your office just waiting? Absolutely, right? Right? There are a lot of models. A millionaire real estate agent is a model that's continually researched, right? Run the model. So I'm going to give you 3 models to run in your sphere of influence today. And I sent these out to you by email. So if you don't have them with you and you can't read the eye chart, that's okay. You've got them for yourself in your email box so you can print out and put on the wall next to you. Now, none of these are revolutionary, and I want to point that out. And I love it because real estate is not sexy. It's boring. If you do it right, it's like running any other business. Running a dental office is not sexy. It shouldn't be. It should be boring, right? Running a it should be boring. Running an accounting firm is not sexy. It should be boring. It should be consistent. It should be predictable, right? And that's a business plan. And so here's a couple. So this is Supercharge Your Sphere of Influence with Gina. This is Gina Sharma. These come from the very top agents in the Keller Williams ecosystem. They were presented at Mega Agent Camp earlier this year. And so what I am telling you is not entry-level stuff. This is the very top agents in Keller Williams, the largest real estate company in the world. This is their play. Does that make sense? So if you're a new agent, you're like, well, I'm not that kind of person. Become that kind of person. You don't know who you are until you try. If you're an agent who's been in the business for a long time, but you've never broken through that ceiling, maybe it's time to apply a model in a more consistent way, right? So this is what we run. So Gina creates a business plan that's 98% repeat and referral based by personalizing her touch plan. So number 1, the first spoke of her touch plan is client events. 5 client events per year. The first one is a happy hour. The second one is a happy hour. Gina's people like to drink. The second one is a family event because they need a little recovery time. Then a fall festival in October, and then a pie giveaway with photos with Santa in November. Ooh, that is a nice enhancement. That would be really cool at our pie giveaway, right? If we brought a Santa in, right, because you're looking, or to do family photos at the pie giveaway, because everybody's getting ready to send out that card, right? I tried so many times in Disney World to get a good picture. No. When you have that many faces, it's not going to work. And our 4-year-old was like protesting. He'd be like, just want to shake him. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so real quick, those are her 5 client events. What are yours? For me, I don't think happy hours feel authentic to me. It's probably not my jam, right? But I would do 5 other things or 2 other things for my sphere of influence. A family event in June resonates for me, right? So to do a family picnic would make a lot of sense for me, right? To do something like that resonates with me. Or a movie, right? That resonates with me. A fall festival, that's really cool. It says she leveraged with her market center to do that event. What's a fall event that we're already doing that you could leverage with your market center? Trunk or treat. Absolutely. That's our fall festival. So that's one of your events. And the pie giveaway, guess what? We're already doing it. It's one of our events. So you have two out of the 5 client events already done. Did they cost you a lot? Nope. Right? The happy hours is kind of a beautiful event. Why? What's that?
Everyone's just relaxed.
Everyone's relaxed. Yeah.
Relaxed environment.
And it doesn't have to have any overhead. Because if you work it right and you can get enough crowd in and you go to the right place, you can talk to the owner and say, hey, I'm going to bring in a large group tonight for a social gathering, a mixer. I'd love to offer them all 5% off on cocktails or 10% off on cocktails. I'm going to drive a lot of business to you. Would you be willing to make that deal for me tonight? Awesome. Good deal. Then I'm going to guarantee X right now. Right? Is that very expensive? No. Did you have to clean your house for it? No. Right? So it's an easy way to do it. Can anybody do that? Absolutely. Right? So, and then the second half, your same thing. So what I want you to work on with this one is take a look on that, at this first group. Do client events resonate with you? Does that sound like something you could get behind or get involved in that would work in your sphere of influence? Now, if you have a younger sphere of influence, it might not be your thing, right? Or if you're a younger agent, right? However, if you're a younger agent with a big enough business and a big enough database, then a movie night would work really, really well. If these resonate with you, this is where creativity happens. Now we have the model, but we have to give it flesh. And now okay, what am I excited about doing? Where do I shine? What are the things that really work that I would love to see happen, that would make my community stronger, that I could do in my farm? Whatever that is, that's where you fill in the pieces. The structure is the 5 events of the year, the frequency. The number 2 is life events. Gina's dialed in on collecting all the important dates from her clients, and she sends personal cards for each. How many personal life events do most people have? Just count them in your head real quick.
2, 3. Purchase anniversary.
Yeah? Okay. So I've got 6 potential, 7. Because people are weird. But so I've got birthday, home anniversary, right? Pet birthday, right? Because people are, it's not my thing, but some people are, right? Pet birthday, right?
10 horses.
10 horses, yeah, absolutely,
birthdays.
right? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it's endless, right? Right, they're not so life events, but they're the things. But they are events. They're part of the cycle of our year. Back to school, right? If you have a client in your database with a large family, that first day of school, you might send them like a gift card to Target or Starbucks, like, enjoy your first moment of free time in 3 months, right? That kind of thing, right? So ways to do that, but seller, buyer, birthday cards, children's birthdays, anniversaries. And VIP clients will receive a unique item in the mail for major life events such as births, graduations, and weddings. What would qualify as a VIP client to you?
They send you referrals.
Send you referrals consistently. Yeah. If I have somebody who sends me a referral, they're going to get a unique present, right? It makes sense. Now I'm going to write that off, right? It's a business expense. But I'm going to do it in such a way, right? We want to show those people more. And that's sort of where we get to your database. Not everybody's the same in your database, right? Not everybody has the same value. An online lead from Facebook is not the same as someone who sends you 3 or 4 referrals a year, right? We treat them differently. And then 3, give back to the community through sponsoring community events such as kids, sports, and games. There's a husband-wife team near me, and I think their business is gonna struggle now because their kid's graduating. But they were so good about sponsoring everything. And they may continue to do it, but they were at every event, right? And mostly, I'll tell you what, the aquatic events, because their kid was in water polo and swimming. And they had a solid, and they still do, solid foundation through the water polo club, through the swim club, through the middle school, through the high school, and just and powerful team, right? Leverage those community events. I went down to the Memorial Day parade. And they were down there with flags handed out, being part, that's on that side of town, just dominant on that side of town, right? Sponsoring, though, could be as small as, I'm coaching a kids basketball team this season. It's going to be a train wreck. I'm really excited about it. It should be a lot of fun. But, so sponsoring a rec league team too, because they got to pay for that pizza party, right? And so doing that, and maybe at the pizza party, everybody gets a little plastic cup that's got your logo on it, or something. Or you're going to help provide snacks at the games. You know the best part of the games for the kids? Snacks, absolutely, right? And so what if you just gave, here are the water bottles for the season, right? Don't worry about that. Here's a Gatorade for the season. Don't worry about that, right? Those are things that you can do. So this is a model. Is there anybody here who thinks this model would work for them? Okay, cool. So what's the difference between it working for you and not working for you? Working it. That's absolutely right. Yeah, it can't work if you don't work it, right? So that's a model. I like this one. This is a really solid model. If you've been someplace for a while, or you want to develop and stay someplace for a while, I love this model, right? So that's a great one. Good. We've got Real Estate's a Contact Sport with Stacy. This one is going to be very familiar to a lot of us. But what I love about this is she starts with some fundamental beliefs and some rules, right? I did a video on this last week for my social media and YouTube. Your mindset controls your ability to succeed. I talk to agents all the time, and I talk about working in the database, and they say, well, I don't like to make cold calls. I was talking to an agent yesterday, saying, I really just don't do cold calls. I said, well, no, I didn't say anything about cold calls. I said, call people who know, love, and like you. Why is that cold, right? Because my mindset says it's cold. So the mindset shift of, for me, everyone I talk to wants to see me be successful. The majority of the people I interact with or encounter on any given day would love to see me be successful. And it's true. It's true. There are way more people who like to help than who want to hinder. And if you go through the day with that attitude, guess what? You can do anything, right? So hers are, I'm worthy of success. Tony Robbins talked about this. That a lot of us, the reason we don't have money is our beliefs about money. Because we have a negative association with some of the things, either the work to do it or the kind of person we are. So that fundamental belief of I'm worthy of it is for some of us, we need to overcome it. Truly, right? And then the rule, an ordinary person who does the work can lead an extraordinary life. Absolutely true. I can give you examples, I'm not going to, of incredibly ordinary people who have phenomenal lives because they just run consistent businesses, right? I had a motivational talk with my niece where I was going through some of the people in my world who have an incredible life who are just ordinary people. Because the point was, it doesn't matter what you major, just work hard, right? It doesn't matter what your first job is, just give it everything. An opportunity opens the door for you. An ordinary person who just does the work can lead an extraordinary life. And so the system, and this is where we get into the boring, and I love the boring, move from being responsive to having a life by design. That's GPS, right? Most realtors have a position of service the leads as they come. With a GPS, it's generate the leads, right? It's make sure you're in control of the business. Move from being responsive to having a life by design. That's setting up How do I handle my business as it comes in through systems through that? We can get more into detail on that. Use a CRM command and build a database. That's her system. She's one of the top agents in Keller Williams. She just focuses 100% on her sphere in her database. Right? Is that everybody's business? Not a new agent. You probably don't have a big enough database yet. Right? But if you've been working in your business long enough and you have 700 people in your database who you have a relationship with, can provide an incredible life. Right? If it's, that would be 200 plus thousand based on the numbers of income. It's not bad, right? Yes?
But even new people, I'm sure they know people. They're not isolated.
Absolutely.
They know family, they know friends of family, so that's a good database.
Yep.
Start building it.
You're 100% right. The only reason I say not 100% is there are some agents who are at a level where they're like, I just focus on my database. It's all I do. I just stay in a relationship. And they're building that database, hopefully. A new agent, if you have 50 people in the database, you're going to have to don't drop that ball. It's critically important, but you need to build that database, right? So you need to focus on bringing in leads from open houses or online leads or wherever you can find them to build that database. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And most new agents have way more contacts than they're willing to acknowledge, because it's not just mom and dad, it's aunts and uncles, it's mom and dad's friends, it's aunt and uncle's friends, it's your friends, it's your friend's parents, it's your friend's parents' friends, right? It's all of those things. It gets exponential pretty quick. It's the who do you get your hair cut by, who's your mechanic, who is your coach when you took Taekwondo, right? Who is your favorite English teacher, right? All of those things, those are contacts in the database. All of that. It's principal at your high school. That might be interesting. So back to this. Obviously, we comply with TCPA, but the system is make 20 contacts a day. That's the Kevin Allen system too, by the way. Just be consistent, 20 contacts a day. And Kevin will tell you when he's consistent with the 20 contacts a day, the business results, right? That's a top producer's plan, 20 conversations a day. You cannot do that on accident. It has to be intentional. It has to be time blocked, right? That's where I go back to, does your calendar reflect your goals? There should be very specifically, this is when I lead generate. Those contacts can be text, they can be email, they can be calls, and they can be visits. I spent my time yesterday just doing texts. 2 appointments for interviews here with top agents in the Market Center, right? I just texted. It was just a lot of text, right? You can do it and be successful. A text, unless there's response, doesn't count. And then higher effective leverage, you're not there. Some of you are there, some of you aren't there. Our model is going to teach you to hire an admin first, not a buyer's agent. Our model is going to teach you to hire your second admin before you hire your showing assistant. Now, most agents will try to skip that step, right? And I heard Jay Papazan talking about that, and I loved it. Why do you hire an admin first? Anybody want to throw out?
To get away from doing the mundane things.
To get leverage, yeah.
Let them do it.
To get leverage, absolutely. Why else?
Cost you way less.
Cost way less, yeah.
Your commission with somebody else.
Absolutely. It's a lot. It can be a more affordable way to go. Yeah, absolutely. What else?
It frees up your time to do the things you need to do.
Gives you leverage, true. Do you know what the biggest, who is that?
Delegation.
Delegation, leverage, absolutely. You know what the biggest complaint from people who hire buyer's agents first is? Once they get business, they leave. Right? Once they get business, you train them, they leave. If you're an admin first, guess what you're building? Culture. You're building your team's culture on a foundation of stability. You bring in a second admin, now you've got enough that you've got a team culture going on. You bring in a buyer's agent, now you're very affordably working with new agents to show houses, and you are now sifting the talent to find who is your lead, showing agent, who is your lead buyer's agent, right? And you continue to work that leverage. The model works because it's looking long term, right? And that's why we have the GPS, that's why we got the 411, so we know the steps to take, the levers to pull. But I love that explanation. Sorry, a little side note. I haven't talked in a while, guys, and I haven't done this in a while, so I'm on fire right now. Protect your mindset, and then no self-sabotaging. Or hire a coach, and no self-sabotaging. Self-sabotage, if you tend to be a melancholic person, then this is a real thing, right? And particularly in seasons like this, where it takes more work to get to the deal, which is seasonality, right? When you have that trend, when you have the one transaction, because the market is contracted and that transaction falls out, if you're not protecting your mindset, that can completely derail you. And essentially, you get out of the gym for a month, you fall off the diet, and you lose the gains, right? The results. Same thing with real estate. It's the same idea. It's to protect the mindset, right? Brian, our bold coach, said this the first day, and I loved it. If you lead generate, you don't have to tolerate, right? And the premise is, if you have enough business coming in, then one falling out isn't a big deal. The only way you get enough coming in is to do the work. And so protect the mindset. And so whether that's mantras or affirmations or role play groups or community or whatever it is, protect your mindset. That's the second model. Who thinks they can run this model? I think there's not one person here who can't run this model, right? This model is a grinding model. It's a good model. It's a millionaire real estate model, right? Have you ever heard any of this from me before? Like all of it from me before? Guess what? It works because somebody runs it consistently, and they're on stage at MegaCamp as one of the top producers in the company, right? So the model works if you work the model. And then Troy's SOI model, I am just out of time today. No, not Troy. This is Troy's sphere of influence model. I'm going to go real fast because I love this one. Remember, these were emailed to you. You have the one pages there. And if you ever want to come in for a consult to see about implementation in your business, just connect with me or connect with Sam to get on my calendar. That's what I do. I work with top agents to build their businesses, right? So get on my calendar and let's do that. So this allowed Troy to control 25% of the sales in his small town market. It's like a 2 zip code market. Pick the niche area that you want to dominate and articulate your value. And the way he does that is he's become the Google for the entire small 1 zip code town. He's the local economist for the town. He's a community information for the town. He has a vendor list for the town. He's a real estate expert. Can you do that in a metro area like Riverside? Better believe you can. I used this example last year. I use this example all the time. I don't go to the Mission Inn to do the lights thing because I hate crowds, right? And I'm always like, I'm going to get down there. I'm not going to know where to park. I've never been before. I don't really know the deal. That kind of stuff keeps me from going, right? If some wonderful realtor did a how-to do the Mission Inn successfully video, and I found that on YouTube because I've looked, that would be super helpful, right? Is it hard? Does it cost you anything? Nope. You're the local expert. If that same realtor then did, best coffee houses in Riverside, there's a lot of really cool coffee houses here, right? But most people don't know it because they go to Chili's. And so if you did videos just showcasing unique local businesses, Jules Farmer does this in Norco. She does business spotlights, and she does them very high quality. Guess what? Quality doesn't matter on the internet. What matters is consistency. The quality, for the most part, is a vanity piece for realtors. Obviously, increase the quality as budget enables, but most of the time, consistency and content matter way more than sound quality or picture quality. If you're going to improve one first, improve sound before picture, right? But that's the truth of it. Fill your database. So he dominates it. He fills his database. He makes a list of everyone that knows you, and that you know and like. So right now, I said this before, most of us have at least 200 contacts in our database. I've got 700 in my phone right now. If I really worked on it, I'd probably have 1,000 in Murrieta, just because we've been there long enough, right? And I've had enough impact on the community. So that's just easy. Make a list of everyone that knows you and you know and like. Input that list into Command or another CRM. So if you're a brand new agent and you have very little database and you're thinking, I don't know anybody, do any of your parents' friends get excited when you come over? They belong in your database. If you've been established for a long time, are there any people in your farm who light up when they see you? They better be in your database, right? When you get do you look forward to getting your hair cut? I do. Then my barber better be in my database, and he is, right? So all of those things. If you do business at the same car dealership over and over again, which I do, I just tend to buy a car every couple months, it seems, because too many kids, then they should be in your database, all of that. Good. Communicate with your database one-on-one at least 4 times per year. What's a one-on-one communication? I'll wrap this up in like 3 minutes. What's a one-on-one communication? Right? That's it. That's it. Could it be more? Sure. Right? But everybody gets one of these at least 4 times a year. What does that sound like? says the MRE model, right? That's the MREA model. It's 4 calls. It's quarterly phone calls. This is another agent who's just running the play, right? 4 per person per year. Choose your favorite communication method and consistently touch your database. It could be texts, if like with your buddies. If you don't get a reply to the text, you just let it hang. No, then you make the phone call, right? This should be personal and unique to each person. So what Troy did is he did one-to-one handwritten notes. Could handwritten notes be powerful right now?
Yes.
Do you have an excuse to do it right now?
No.
Absolutely you do. It's God's gift to realtors, right? Christmas, Thanksgiving. I will send Christmas cards to people. They will be the same Christmas card to every person. There will be nothing written on them, right? Mostly because my handwriting is embarrassing, and so I don't do it. Guess what? Is my embarrassing handwriting better than no handwriting? Yes. They'll feel sorry for me and use me as an agent. Yes, yes, Arthur.
Those little 99-cent stores have those little 8-in-a-pack hello cards, how you doing cards. Send them out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good way to do it. But start. Communicate with your database. He says 1 to many 36 times. Again, does that sound familiar? Yes, this is the millionaire real estate model. And guess what? He's a millionaire because he ran it. And then he's doing 2 pages, 8.5. So, but his model is the 2 8.5 by 11 pages that are community newsletters. And he's sending them out regularly, right? He does that in digital and does some in print. And then be an amazing consumer advocate. Answer your phone, be professional, go above and beyond for everyone. Can I tell you, one of my red flags is agents whose voicemail box is full? Happens all the time. Like all the time, right? So what does that communicate? Not answering your calls, right? Right? It also means I can't leave a message for you. And I've heard people say that's okay because I don't want voicemails, I want text. It doesn't matter what you want. It matters what they want. Right? Yeah. So you answer that phone, right? And I will tell you the difference between top producers, the people who are mega agents, and the people who are in the fat middle. Because I call all these people. Mega agents answer their phone. They're not always happy to hear from me, but they answer their phone. People in the middle, more often than not, I can't get a hold of them. They don't answer their phone, right?
Why is that?
What's that?
That's something. Why is that?
There you go. Yeah. You know, and some of them have part-time jobs, some they got other things, some they got that, but be responsive. Anyway, these are 3 models right now. There's a lot of overlap between them. I want you thinking about your model, your business plan. Because when you have a model, a business plan, you know exactly what to do every single day. If you do it every single day, the business happens, right? Cool. Anything else before we sign off? Anything from the group? Any comments, questions, concerns?
Can I make a comment about what you said about the phone?
Absolutely.
Always open, take your calls. But also keep an eye on your Facebook Messenger, on your Instagram Messenger, on your WhatsApp Messenger, on all of those, because you don't know how your clients are going to contact you. Like Chris said, it's not how you like it, it's how they like it.
Absolutely.
They're going to contact you by WhatsApp, and you're like, I just get junk there. No, that might be your next listing right there, and they just call somebody else.
Right.
Or WhatsApp somebody else.
Right. Right. And if you get to a point where that's overwhelming, guess what? You hire help, right? And that might be their only job is a VA who just answers your phone when you don't want to.
Well,
right? Or when you
that's
can't.
Where it beeps to every application, and you'll get notifications.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, hey, today's guest is Leslie Wall from Build by Refi for Nexa Mortgage. Leslie, is that you? Yes. Here, come on up and say hello to everybody. And I apologize, guys. I went about 10 minutes long, so we are coming to the end of our time.